Rian stood at the threshold of the Hall of Crowns, the largest chamber on the world of Fowler. He had been summoned without warning, escorted by 2 towering guards, whose armor shimmered with faint green light. Though their posture was tense, they did not treat him with hostility. They seemed wary instead, like soldiers asked to escort a storm they did not quite understand. Rian did not blame them. Humans had returned to this part of the galaxy only 3 cycles ago, and every species still debated whether humanity was a threat or a legend. The Thalorians in particular treated him with an odd mixture of curiosity and fear. The doors ahead of him shifted apart with a low vibration. The chamber beyond glowed with pale blue light cast by thousands of floating stones. At the far end stood the throne of Queen Lyra, ruler of the Thalorian dominion. She sat upright, claws resting on the arms of a throne carved from a single slab of crystal. Her posture radiated the calm confidence of a leader who had stared down wars and storms without flinching. Yet even she watched Rian with eyes full of calculation. He walked forward with steady steps. His armor was simple, light, and worn from travel. His hands were empty. He had left his weapon at the entrance as instructed. Still the guards lining the hall tensed as he passed. Rian felt their attention like heat pressing against his back. He stopped several paces from the throne. He bowed his head slightly. He did not kneel. Humans did not kneel to foreign rulers unless they pledged loyalty, and Rian was not here for that. He was here because Queen Lyra had demanded an audience. The message had been simple. Bring the human called Rian to the court at once. Lyra observed him for a long moment before speaking. Her voice was melodic, but carried steel beneath the surface. Human, you were reported to be involved in the rescue of one of our envoy ships near the rift. I wish to hear your account. Rian nodded. I will speak plainly. The envoy ship was ambushed by raiders. They overwhelmed your shields and boarded. I happened to be passing the sector. I intervened. That is all. One of the nobles scoffed, intervened, as if a lone human vessel could scatter a raider swarm. Foolish story. Another noble hissed in agreement. Humans exaggerate. They always have. Rian remained silent. He had grown used to such reactions. Few believed what a trained human warrior could do, and fewer still understood what he was. It no longer bothered him. Queen Lyra raised a hand. Enough. The envoy captain confirmed his account. He described maneuvers that no Thalorian pilot could match in accuracy that defied standard combat models. She turned her eyes back to Rian. Yet your vessel is small and unmodified. Your personal file lists no known rank or specialization. Your world claims you are merely a traveler. Why would a traveler fight with such precision? Rian hesitated. He had been honest about the events, but not about himself. His past was something he rarely spoke of, something he had left behind. I was trained. That is all. Trained in what? Lyra's voice sharpened. Combat. Many beings were trained in combat, yet none performed as he had. Lyra leaned forward. Humanity is divided into many factions. Some peaceful, some dangerous. You claim to be unaffiliated. I find that difficult to believe. Her gaze narrowed. Tell me your true title. Gasps moved through the hall. Titles carried weight in Thalorian culture. To demand the title of a foreign warrior was to demand the truth of their soul. Several nobles whispered in shock. The guards stiffened again. Rian felt a cold knot in his chest. He had avoided speaking his title for years. It was a symbol of a past he wished to escape. But the Thalorians did not understand half-truths. They valued honesty, even when it wounded. He exhaled slowly. Very well, I will speak it. But once you hear it, your view of me will change. Lyra's eyes flashed. Speak. The hall fell silent. Rian straightened. His voice was calm, firm, and carried the weight of the history behind it. I am Rian of Earth, last bearer of the title Vanguard Prime. A tremor rippled through the chamber. Several nobles recoiled. One guard dropped his spear. Another took a step back, eyes wide. Queen Lyra froze. The title hung in the air like a blade. Vanguard Prime. It was a name known even beyond human borders. It was not a rank. It was not an honor. It was a role once given only to the most capable, human combatants during the era of the Rift Wars. Those who held the title were said to fight. Entire fleets alone, to stand as the final shield when all others fell. There had not been a Vanguard Prime in centuries. Many believed the last had died long before the Felorians reached the stars. Lyra slowly rose from her throne. Her breath caught. Her hands trembled. She stared at him as though she were seeing a ghost. Then, to the shock of the entire hall, the alien queen fell to her knees. The nobles cried out in disbelief. The guards instinctively moved forward, unsure whether to help her or to arrest Rian. Lyra ignored them. Her eyes were wide, her voice a whisper that carried through the chamber. You are the one our archives spoke of. The protector who stood against the rift incursion on the silent moon. A warrior who held the line until reinforcements arrived. The one who saved not only humans, but others who escaped through the Wormgate. If this is true, then you are not merely a visitor. You are a figure of legend. Rian shook his head. Legends are exaggerated. I am only a man, a tired one. Lyra bowed her head lower. In our culture, a queen kneels only before one who has saved the Dominion or whose deeds command reverence. If you truly carry that title, then my people owe you a debt that cannot be measured. She raised her gaze. Why did you not reveal this earlier? Because I no longer serve any banner. I do not seek recognition. I only protect those who need help. Lyra slowly stood. Her expression mixed awe with something softer. You misunderstand. This is not about banners. This is about truth. A Vanguard Prime deserves respect not for allegiance, but for sacrifice. You live after performing actions that most beings would die attempting. For you to stand in this hall without pride or demand for reward speaks to your character more than any legend. Rian felt discomfort at the attention. He did not want the reverence. He only wanted peace. But the hall was already shifting. Guards lowered their weapons. Nobles muttered in confusion and respect. The air felt different. Lyra stepped closer. Her movements were graceful, almost reverent. Tell me, Rian, why abandon the title? Why wander alone? Because the title cost more than it gave. Too many battles, too many losses. I grew tired of being a symbol instead of a person. I left to find purpose outside war. Lyra nodded slowly. Many warriors carry such burdens. Her eyes softened. But you saved my envoy at personal risk. That was not the action of someone who abandoned purpose. That was the action of someone who still holds a protector's heart. Rian did not answer. He did not need to. Lyra stepped to his side. Walk with me. The hall must see that respect is given, not forced. As they walked, the nobles parted. Some bowed. Others lowered their heads in acknowledgement. Even the guards stood straighter, as though witnessing something sacred. Lyra led him through a side door into a quiet chamber adorned with soft blue light. Here her voice dropped to a gentler tone. Tell me the truth. Do you consider my people enemies? No. Do you consider my people weak? No. Do you wish harm to the Dominion? No. Do you seek to rule or to influence our decisions? No. Then you are welcome here, not as a guest, but as an honored guardian. Rian blinked. I have no intention of joining another conflict. Lyra shook her head. I am not asking for your sword. Only your presence. A voice like yours carries weight. Many fear humans because they only hear stories of destruction. But if you stand here, if they see you as more than myth, it may change our future. Rian considered this. He had spent years avoiding attention. But perhaps avoiding the galaxy was not the answer. Perhaps guiding it might prevent the wars he feared. He sighed. I will stay for a time, but do not expect more than that. Lyra smiled. A small gesture, but full of meaning. A time is enough. The future begins with one choice. A return to the hall together. Gasps spread once more. Rian did not fully understand why, until he realized that Lyra stood half a step behind him, a position that in Thalorian culture signified honor toward the one leading. A noble approached cautiously. Rian of Earth, Vanguard Prime, will you stand as ally to the Dominion? Rian looked to Lyra. She met his gaze calmly. He turned back to the noble. Ally, yes. Servant, no. The noble bowed. The hall murmured with approval. Another noble stepped forward. Is it true that humans once held back an entire assault alone? Rian shook his head. No defender stands alone. Even when others fall, the memory of them stands with you. That is enough. The murmurs quieted. Respect replaced fear. Lyra addressed the hall. Let it be known that the human warrior Rian stands under my protection and under the respect of the Dominion. None shall threaten him. None shall question his presence. If he wishes peace, we shall give it. If he offers guidance, we shall listen. If he chooses to show us the strength of humanity, we shall honor it. The nobles bowed as one. Rian felt a weight lift slightly from his chest. Not gone, but lighter. Perhaps this place would not demand the same of him as the past. Lyra turned to him. You may choose your quarters within the palace. You may come and go freely. If you need anything, speak to me directly. Rian nodded. Thank you. She hesitated before adding softly. And Rian, I meant what I said. You are not a weapon here. You are a person. He held her gaze for a moment. Then he gave a faint nod. That is more than most ever offer.